Assalamu alaikum. Very good evening, viewers. You are watching Voice of Toronto Television with me, Anjum Malik, on Voice of Toronto Television. And as you know, we are doing election campaigns, interviews with a lot of candidates, from regional councillors to councillors, from the mayors of the different riding, from the different cities. And last my show that I did ask, our audience to get in touch with us when we are live discussions with our candidates on television. It is very important that if you live in the riding of that the mayor, then it is depending on the ward what you live in. It really doesn't matter whoever the councillor is, but if you are living in those ridings in the cities where the elections are happening, this is a time for you to get in touch with us, call us, be a part of the program, and also at the same time ask questions from the candidates. I did requested Mayor Carolyn Parrish in my last interview, but there was some family emergency. She was not able to make it. But tonight we're going to be discussing with her in detail regarding her last 4 years as the mayor of Mississauga, her journey into the politics, what she has been doing for the city of Mississauga and for the residents of Mississauga, what is in the agenda for the next 4 years if she become elected again as a mayor, and a lot of those some of the questions that I already have from our community who lives in that riding, that is regarding the property taxes, the law, the crime, the bylaws, and the infrastructure and the housing and all those kind of things. So tonight is going to be a very lively conversation. And I'm going to have my lines open after I introduce Mayor Carolyn Parrish, and we'll open the lines. We will take your live calls. And during that conversations, if you would like to speak with the mayor, you will be able to do that by asking a question, and she will be able to respond. And we're going to do this session not just today. We're going to ask her to come back again on my show. Voice of Toronto TV is a very popular TV channel, as you guys know, for the last 6 years. And we've been running so many campaigns, whether it's been federal, provincial, municipalities. We have been the talk of the town. So tonight I am taking this opportunity to introduce our very beloved mayor, who is the mayor of Mississauga. She has done all sort of politics. She's been a councillor. She's been, she's been education, a teacher. She has been a member of parliament, for a few years. So she have a lot on her plate as the politics goes. Great experience from different perspective. And now she has been in the Ward 5 riding for the last so many years as a councillor before she became a mayor. So she have a lot of experience behind her, and I'm sure that with all that experience and all the knowledge that she possesses, she must be executing it properly in the city of Mississauga and taking Mississauga to the next level. So we will see. We will talk to her tonight, and let me just take this opportunity and introduce her on Voice of Toronto TV for the first time. A very good evening, Mayor Parrish.
Very good evening to you.
Can you hear me well, Miss Parrish?
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much for joining me on my live broadcast on Voice of Toronto TV. And what is very important tonight is, Mayor Parrish, is that we're going to dive deep into a lot of questions that I have for you from the people of residents of Mississauga who you mayor for. And we're going to get into that. But I thought I should first of all compliment you that over the last so many years being in politics yourself, from councillor to member of parliament and to the mayor, which role do you think best suits for you? Where you enjoy the most?
To be honest with you, I never intended to run for mayor. But when Bonnie Crombie stepped down halfway through a term, I thought, well, I'm the most experienced one here. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I love it. It's a fantastic job. I've been sitting there at Mississauga Council for 13 years,
Yeah.
and wanted to do things and couldn't do them. And now, just in the last 2 years, I've accomplished many of my dreams, and I still have some ahead of me. So this is the best job.
Well, it's good to know that you're enjoying this particular role of the mayor, being coming from so many different positions and roles in the past. Let me ask you about another very important question. Being a mayor of Mississauga is a huge community, multiculturalism, diversity, everything is there in Mississauga. You name it and it's there. And I'm sure you are a mayor for the whole Mississaugans, like Bonnie Crombie was. I know that she served for a few years also. Do you feel any shortcomings that you think that for the last 4 years since you became a mayor, how instrumental you think that your journey has been, and what do you foresee in the next coming elections? Where are you going to be?
Well, after the election, should I win, which I'm very hopeful that I will, one of the shortcomings of our city is we don't have a real city center. We have a very tired old LAC, Living Arts Center, which has only 1,000 seats. So you can't bring in big acts. It loses $2 million a year. We have 12 acres of city center property that the city owns. It's just sitting there. It's not being put to any good use. So that is one of the shortcomings of a very great city. We are the second strongest economy in Ontario.
Yeah.
We have fabulous manufacturing. We have wonderful business people, small business, large business, big companies, 41 drug companies. But we don't have a real heart in our city.
Mm-hmm.
You would know we don't have a hotel in city center. So we need to really put our minds to building out the city center and making it a place that people want to stay. Instead of going to Toronto for entertainment, they should want to stay here. So that is one of our shortcomings. Generally speaking, everything else, as you've mentioned, it's a very diverse community. We have people from all over the world. And because it's multicultural, truly, everybody gets along. Everybody has their own little niche. We have fabulous festivals at the city center for each of our different subgroups. And everybody goes to everybody else's. So it's one of those cities where everybody truly gets along.
No, well said, well said. I know Celebration Square is a landmark place where a lot of the things happen. And as you did mention, yes, the hotel is missing and we need a bigger place for sure. I mean, if the time is given to you and your caucus and the way the city is expanding and the people who support the city, I think it should be overcome to not, it won't take that much time to do that. My first question to you is, Mayor Parrish, a lot of people on the LRT lines, which I had a conversation with Ms. Bonnie Crombie also in the past, that they've been suffering a lot, with businesses. What do you think the anticipation date is for that LRT to start operation?
First, I have to admit to you, I was off council for 4 years. Had I been on council when they voted for the LRT, I would not have supported it. I think a bus lane east or north and a bus lane south would have been adequate. It would have kept people moving up and down. It was a profit-making route on Highway 10. I think the LRT is some sort of glitzy. People seem to think once we have an LRT, we're a real city. A lot of companies have gone broke. A lot of companies have lost a lot of money. And the mess along there has been tragic. Now, we have a new gentleman. His name's Michael Lindsay, has been appointed by Metrolinx. And all of a sudden, things are happening very quickly. You can drive along Highway 10. On a Sunday, there's crews working. Before, you'd see 3 people working on a Friday. So I'm told that March of 2028, we will be opening that LRT. But as I said, I would never have supported it. I think it's a terrible waste of money. North-south route is not what we needed in Mississauga. We needed an east-west route to connect us to Toronto. But it's there, and I'm told absolutely, and I have faith in this gentleman because his mother lives in Mississauga and apparently gives him a hard time. When is that thing going to be finished? She lives in Applewood. But Michael Lindsay tells me March, 2028, the trains will be running.
Okay, okay. Well, at least there is a date now, as you mentioned. A lot of businesses that I do talk to or interview the business owners, especially on that corridor, and especially the hotels. They've been suffering a lot, and then there is the traffic roadblocks because of the construction and all that stuff. So I hope that it get underway and people start enjoying whatever has happened over the last so many years, but at least it should be operational. Let me ask you this very importantly, and this is one of the questions that came to me from constituents of your writings, and they wanted me to ask you this, which I also had in my mind to ask you. What are the 5 most important things that you want to do that you have not been able to so far able to succeed in the last tenure of 4 years of your mayorship, then you would like to carry on and fulfill that in the next 4 years if you do become a mayor of Mississauga?
Well, Anjum, I've only been mayor 2 years. I was elected in the middle of a term, which is a very short time.
Correct.
And have, I believe, accomplished a lot. We've made ourselves the most fabulous city for seniors, and the senior population is growing. So all seniors in Mississauga have free access to community centers, free access to transit. We also are clearing the windrows at the end of driveways. As the plow goes by, another one comes by with an arm and clears that. We have snowplows clearing sidewalks. I've been trying to do that for 8 years. And we finally got it in last year for this terrible winter. So when I visit seniors groups, and they're my almost favorite people to visit, I get hugs, and they say, gee, we go to Bermthorpe on Monday, we go to Poplar Park on Tuesday, because we get out of the house, we make friends, we socialize. So we've made ourselves the best city in Ontario for seniors. What have I left to accomplish? As I said to you, the city centre needs to be upgraded absolutely immensely. I have built also, before I became mayor, a youth hub in Malton, where we have 4,000 young people that are carrying cards to belong to that. We have 200 to 300 kids a day that we feed lunch because they have no breakfast, no lunch when they come to school. We have a teaching kitchen. We have a chef who teaches the students how to cook. I'm building a second youth hub at Bloor and Dixie, where, again, there's a great need. So I'm planning to just keep going. I've done a lot in 2 years. We've also brought in massive changes to development charges, and we have 17,000 units, housing units under construction, where if you listen to the news, nobody's building anywhere. But in Mississauga, they're building because we've reduced their development charges. And also, huge change in rental buildings. A lot of the buildings we were building before were condos. They've all converted over to rentals because we're giving them huge discounts on all their costs. So we've done a lot in 2 years. Another 4 years will be just perfect. Okay.
Let me ask you this. The federal government came out with that accelerator, funding program, as you just mentioned about the housing crisis that we have. Are there any lots available in Mississauga that could be used for subsidized housing? Because it's so hard to afford a home, especially for the youngsters in this country. What do you think about that? Are there something in the pipeline for that?
There is. And as a matter of fact, the federal government came out with an accelerator fund 2 years ago, and we have benefited from it. We were granted $112 million, so we've had 3 drops of $28 million. We have 1 more coming. So the reductions we brought in development charges, that's paid for it. And we have another fund that is right now building 560 deeply affordable units. Also, we're building rental units, which the rental costs are going down because there's more units available. So we've done our job. The federal government has done its job. And now the provincial government has stepped up with a new fund, a new fund that's
Ms. Mayor, we have a call. Can I take the call?
Okay.
Welcome to Voice of Toronto TV. Hello? Hello? Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi. Go ahead.
Hi there. This is just a question for the mayor. I wanted to know about the LRT and when it will be completed, all the road closures, and they cause a lot of congestion. So my question is around the topic of the LRT and what are the plans for that?
Yeah, we already talked about that, and but she is listening to your question, and thank you for the call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Miss Mayor.
Yes, the answer is what I gave you before, and you did hit that question before the phone call came in.
Yeah.
It's March 2028, and hopefully it'll be finished and all this nonsense will be over. But
March 2028. Okay.
March 2028, I've been told.
Okay. That's the, unless it get pushed back a bit, or be during the completion and all that. But this is what the date is.
I don't know. I have to tell you, this new guy that's in charge impresses me.
Okay.
Weekends they're working. Crews are working all up and down the LRT.
Okay.
He seems to be accomplishing a lot, so I have faith in him.
Okay. It's good to know. Okay, let's move on with some very hot questions that I can ask you. First of all, it's regards to the property tax hike, and that's everywhere in the city. I want to know, since you have taken over as the mayor of Mississauga, or your caucus, and you guys talk about this, you put a freeze on this, so there will be no tax hike for the next couple of years. What is the plan, and what is the reserve fund is being used to offset that?
Well, first of all, anybody that promises a freeze in taxes is in dreamland. It's impossible. Costs are going up, gas is going up, all kinds of fuels are going up, labor is going up, unions are going up. One of the biggest problems we have in Mississauga is we have a police force that is a combination of Brampton and Mississauga. Mm-hmm. And they do a fantastic job, very happy with them. The difficulty is, since the new chief has come in, he's upgrading that police force. He has to take care of the airport, he has all kinds of things he has to do. Mm-hmm. Also, the difficulty is the old formula, which is 50 years old, makes Mississauga pay 62% of the bill and Brampton 38% of the bill. Mm-hmm. So for the last 2 years, I've been giving the Premier an update on what it's costing Mississauga. This year, we subsidized Brampton $106 million. That's above and beyond what they're paying and what we should be paying. Next year, when they come in with a 6.7% increase on the police bills, it's going to go up to $112 million subsidy. So I've spoken to the Premier and I've asked him, I said, you look at the numbers. We can't keep doing this. Mississauga taxpayers can't keep subsidizing Brampton because they have a higher population now and they seem to have a very difficult crime rate and car accidents and all the rest of the stuff that goes on. So love the police force. They're doing a fantastic job. Have no criticism with Chief Nish increasing. He's actually, by the end of this year, doubled the budget for the police, Peel Regional Police. But you know what? He's doing a great job. But I don't believe, nor does anybody I've spoken to, that we should be paying 62% while Brampton pays 38%. So that has been my mission for the last 2 years, and I will keep fighting that until I get what I want. The other thing we've done is there's been a lot of talk about separating Mississauga from Peel Region. This year I looked at the puzzle pieces. I said, first we take roads, regional roads down. 30 million savings, that comes in 2029. 2027. We took down solid waste collection, that's another 20 million. All that comes in 2027. And the rest of the stuff at the region is all social services, no problem with that. So if I can fix the police split, I've got waste coming down, and I've got regional roads coming down. That's almost $200 million in savings. And we won't see lower taxes until all those things come through.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the questions that was also put to me that I should ask you, that since you have taken over the mayorship, how accommodating the city of Mississauga has been in opening up the doors for employments for South Asian or multiculturalism or diversity. What sort of numbers that you can share with us who works for the city under your leadership?
Do you know, we actually don't do those sorts of studies because it's unnecessary. When we hire the best people. We don't look at skin color, we don't look at background, we don't look at where they come from. As long as they are the most qualified people, we have them. Right now in my front row of commissioners, I have Raj Sheth, who is of Indian background. I have a Chinese woman who is our chief financial officer. We have multicultural people, but we don't look at that. We don't even consider that. We take the best people who apply, and if you walk through our halls and look at all our people, they're every color, shape, and size. So that is not a number that we keep. It's not necessary in Mississauga.
Okay. But the city is open to, like you said, you have the experience, the resume is good. It doesn't matter what your background is. You could be hired
Correct.
for a vacancy. People could apply.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna move on to some of the questions, and one of the other very important question is the crime. We just talked about Chief Nishan. I know they're doing a great job, but in general, if you look at the stats, there's a lot of break-ins. There's a lot of unrest in the community with the auto theft, carjacking, even a lot of fatalities that happened in that area. So how effective are the bylaws that you are managing at this stage or mitigating it, that they become more swift and people have a peace of mind and they feel secure, more secure than what they are at this stage?
The difficulty is, first of all, the media grabs onto all the stats that are violent because that's how they get people to watch their TV shows. Secondly, I'm told, and I've looked at the stats, that actual crime is down. Violent crime, murders, all those things are down. Thirdly, what we absolutely have to do is depend on the province and mostly the federal government to set new bail laws, to make new regulations that say, when you get arrested for something and you're back out on the street in 24 hours, that's the wrong thing. Because you're back doing the same thing again. There's no repercussions. So those aren't laws that we can set municipally. What happens with us is we have to obviously try very hard to get the federal and the provincial governments to tighten up all their rules. The other thing with car thefts, we have two major ports in Canada. One's in Montreal, the other's in Vancouver. If they put scanners in both of those ports, those who are stealing cars could not be shipping them overseas. They open one container out of every 100.
Yeah.
If you scanned all 100, just going through getting on the ships, and you stop the market, the overseas market, you'd stop the car thefts. So a lot of this, I know I sound like I'm passing the buck, but we don't make federal and provincial laws that affect crime.
No, I understand that. And I did brought that up to Mayor Patrick Brown also regarding the scanners and the X-rays, and it needs to be
Yes.
there needs to be more. More obviously, they were lacking some staff. I believe at one time they hired some more people, the border agents. But I think the fact of the matter is, yes, we need that scanning, like you just said, and every container, it should scan like they have
Yeah.
for the U.S. Same thing, and this is how we can stop it. I was told also that you have a correction facility in the Mississauga area, Ms. Parrish.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we have any.
Okay. It's on the other border side. Okay.
Yeah.
Because somebody asked me that question. I said I'm going to find out from Mayor Parrish if there is one.
No, we don't.
That's good. Okay. We're going to chat a little bit about very importantly some of the issues that contains on the roads in Mississauga. What are the rules in place right now on the bylaws for parkings? in the city of Mississauga that people need to understand. There are a lot of people who join us on this show on the first time, and they're new to Canada. And obviously, if they're watching your show tonight, I just want to educate them, create that awareness that what are the bylaws.
Well, the bylaws, we have two types of bylaws. One's 5-hour on-street parking, and you can extend that if I think 5 or 10 times a year at your address. You can say, we've got guests, they're coming for overnight, it's a big celebration, we need extended parking. So you can apply for those, and you can get those. We have some neighborhoods where we have 15-hour covering overnight parking. All of these things we're about to suspend when we have terrible snowstorms, because we had a bit of a hard time this winter, probably one of the snowiest winters we've had in many years. And when you have on-street parking that's 5 hours or even the 15 hours, the plows can't get through. So we've just changed that bylaw because of this winter. But generally speaking, we're pretty flexible. We also have what they call parking at the end of your driveway where the boulevards are, with boulevard parking. We just get people on the street, they sign a petition, they say everybody on the street wants to allow boulevard parking, because many homes have adult children and you've got 4 or 5 cars from one house, or you have people who have legal basement apartments that need parking. So we're as flexible as we can be on the parking, but it's obviously a problem.
Okay. And your caucus, your other councillors, what do they feel about that? What is the plan that need to put in place to alleviate this problem that people have on the street?
Well, if you come up with that problem, sir, I will hire you tomorrow. It's okay. One of those ones where everybody has a different idea on how they're going to do it. Yeah. And getting cooperation amongst 11 or 12 politicians is not always easy.
It's not. I did talk to Alvin Tejo. He was on my show, and he's also one of the contenders for the mayorship. He's resigning as a regional councillor. He told me on his show. But moving forward, importantly, another very important question, and that's to do with the triage time at the hospitals. What is the completion date for the Trillium Hospital that is under extension, I would say, because of the building is so old, and how are you looking into that by adding on? Is it that you have a say in the hospitals that when they are adding on as a mayor more staff like doctors and bring the triage time much lower than they are?
They're not adding on to the hospital. They're rebuilding that hospital. And the miracle is they're rebuilding it, and it's the core of it is still functioning. They're building the biggest hospital in Canada, the largest teaching hospital in Canada. They will be adding 2,500 staff at that hospital. Okay. They will have something like 38 operating rooms. It's going to be an incredible, incredible hospital. And the part of it that's a miracle is if they were building it on vacant land, piece of cake. Anybody could do that. They're building it while there's a massive functioning hospital going on. So it's not easy. One of the things we did do, though, every municipality outside of Toronto has to put in a portion of the cost of the hospital. And I negotiated our portion down from $450 million to $390 million. So that was heavy negotiations with the Premier. A couple of cigars smoked in his backyard. But the point was, we want that hospital in our city. We're very proud to have it. It's going to serve the whole southwestern GTA. Mm-hmm. And it's going to have the best professors, the best doctors. It's going to have equivalent to Sick Kids Hospital, Women and Children's Hospital portion to it. So the hard part of this hospital, and I've talked to the Premier, and he said, if I had it to do over again, I'd put it somewhere where we can just build from scratch, because building around a functioning hospital like that's very difficult. So we're very proud of it. We're very happy that it's under construction, and it's operating efficiently while the construction's going on. And the construction itself, we've got whole lanes of truck traffic along the Queensway so that they line up, they get out of the regular traffic, and they're taking dump trucks of cement in, they're taking dump trucks of dirt out. It's quite efficient. It's very amazing to watch.
Okay, okay. I want to bring your attention to something very important on the seniors, for seniors especially. I was speaking to the mayor of Orangeville, and they have this plan where they don't charge any fees to the seniors when they travel on the, the buses. What sort of plan is available for seniors in the city of Mississauga as far the tariff goes?
We have zero charge on transit for seniors over 65. They buy
Okay.
one card for $4, lasts the lifetime. It's a Presto card. So they pay nothing for transit. They pay nothing to belong to our community centers and use the pools and the exercise rooms. We encourage it because seniors mostly use those facilities from 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock when families aren't using it. I find that we went from 31,000 memberships at our community centers to 51,000 in 3 months when we brought that in. So 20,000 of our seniors got the cards right away. But we had for a while $1 bus fares. And then once we brought in free community center use, we brought in free transit as well so that they can not only leave their home without being driven, get to a community center. And it's really important for mental health
Yeah.
and for happiness because they get to hang out with each other, do the exercise, go to the pools. It's fantastic. I think we're one of the best cities in Canada for seniors.
Well, good to know. Good to know. Miss Parrish, cost of living and food has gone so high, as you know. Tell me, how are the food banks are managing, the needs on a daily basis to the residents of Mississauga? Being yourself there, looking into that.
Very, very difficult. It's a huge expansion. We have a central food bank that feeds into all about 65 small food banks. I myself, for the last 12 years, have run a charity. We call it the Milk Fund for shortness of title, but we raise about $300,000 a year. I do that. And we give out checks to the smaller food banks that aren't covered by our large central food bank. During Ramadan this year, we got together with all the mosques and we raised almost $150,000 during Ramadan, which got that community very involved. We're keeping up. We do Christmas fundraising. We do Thanksgiving fundraising. We're raising money all the time, and everybody's pretty cooperative here.
I'm going to touch a little bit with the youth perspective. Soccer fields, cricket fields. What do you think? Mississauga is becoming so huge now with population, and you need that growth. Do you have something in mind in the pipeline that there's some places are allocated where the fields could be kind of generated for years to come? Like in Brampton, Mayor Patrick Brown is doing similar stuff. What do you have for the youth in Mississauga?
Well, we have something more than fields, I'll tell you. We built a youth hub in Malton, which is a high needs area. We built a huge attachment that used to be an indoor swimming pool that was useless. It was sitting there for 7 years locked up. We called in the students from 2 of the high schools in the area and we made them the board of directors. And as we designed it, they sat there for every little piece of furniture, for every function. We had Metalworks design a recording studio. They actually record songs that are played on the radio. And we feed 200 kids a day lunch who have no breakfast and no lunch. So that is important to me. We've had a Danish film crew come over to do a documentary on that process. And we're building a second one at Bloor and Dixie. And shall I win the election, we'll do a third one in Clarkson. We choose areas where the kids really need things like food and things like computers that they can plug into and use because they don't have them at home. As far as cricket fields, we're building them as fast as we can. One of the problems with Mississauga is we've pretty much built out. We have over 500 parks that have sports facilities in them, over 1,000 parks in the city. But we are keeping up, and as we can, we convert so that we can bring in cricket's a big sport now. And it's one that's really good for the kids because it's not expensive. They're coming from countries where cricket's very important. And so we are converting so it's cricket and soccer accommodates both.
Ms. Parrish, what is the size of your caucus in Mississauga right now?
We have 11 councillors and me, 12.
12. Okay. All right. All right. And out of those 12, and they're all from different diversities, I believe, correct?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting mix. We have one Croatian, we have one Jamaican, Canadian, we have a couple of Polish people. I'm one of them, Polish background. We have Portuguese. It's a real mix.
Okay. Okay. Now, one of the things I wanted to ask you tonight on this show, and then I'll have another sitting with you in the next few weeks, that you have, you've done 2 years. We did talk a little bit about your bio, and you are continuing, for this leadership race again for the mayor. If you do become mayor, you got selected again, and I did ask you those 5 very important, things that you want to do. What will be the couple of top ones that right on the agenda, which you feel that you're having difficulty at this stage because of your caucus, because of the members, maybe not in line with the thoughts of yours? You think that those things could be achieved, and you'll be able to finish those?
Absolutely. The only ones that are opposed right now are people who are building their own careers and they want to run for mayor. Most of the caucus is in my corner on this. They understand our city center has to be improved, no question. They understand we need a new music center where we can seat 5,000 people. We want to put in Metalworks, which is the Triumph Band drummer has built this music school there. We want to build apartment buildings there with 40 units for starving artists, young students that go to the music school, can only afford $300 a month rent. We want to build a downtown hotel with good restaurants. We want people to stay in Mississauga. We don't want them to talk about going downtown, meaning Toronto. So if you get opposition, it's people who want my job. And that's fine. They can want my job all they want. I plan to win. And I plan to build this, and I have a lot of support on council, and I have a lot of support on staff.
Good to know. Good to know. And what I can tell you this, that you keep on doing the good job, and people definitely will support that. Obviously, people have reservations, with the city for a lot of things. But I think if you mitigate it, you manage it properly, you are accountable, you're auditable at the same time. People can understand that there is a mayor, excuse me, who is very outspoken, very vocal. And talking about being vocal, I was going through your bio for a few minutes, and I saw there was a note there that when you were a member of Parliament, you were pretty vocal with the war from United States into Iraq, and that was one of the reasons that you have to leave your caucus. How do you felt about that?
That wasn't the reason I had to leave my caucus.
Okay.
No, it was not. Mr. Kretchen joined us and joined those members of caucus that didn't want to attack Iraq. We knew that this whole business of weapons of mass destruction was ridiculous. Nobody had proven it. And I was very proud of Mr. Kretchen because that's the first time in our history we have broken off in foreign policy on something as stupid as a war in Iraq. So I'm proud of what we did. I'm outspoken. I stomped on a Bush doll once. Actually, give me a Trump doll and I'll do it again. But the point is, yes, I'm outspoken. The reason I left caucus is I was very critical of some of the things Mr. Martin was doing. He was a fantastic man. I loved him dearly. But some of the things that he was doing when he came in after Mr. Kretchen didn't sit well with me. So that was why I was out of caucus. It had nothing to do with the war in Iraq. It had nothing to do with stomping on a Bush doll. It had nothing to do with my outspoken moments. And I have to tell you, Mr. Chrétien's probably the best leader we've ever had in this country, because many people in caucus could take positions opposite to what he wanted us to take, and we were never punished for it. We were never treated badly.
You have served Ward 6 and Ward 5 now, both wards. And
Yep.
if you go back and you think that you have done, for the ward, what are some of the landmark achievements you felt that you have done as a councillor before you became a mayor? And how do you, learn from that into this role of the mayorship that you have?
Well, interestingly, Ward 6 was pretty quiet. There wasn't a lot of excitement going on there. It's a pretty steady, nice neighborhoods, nothing happening. So I got very involved with Canada Day, and I said to Hazel McCallion, why don't we have fireworks on Canada Day? She said, I'm not blowing taxpayers' dollars up in smoke. I said, if I raise $100,000, can we have fireworks? She said, you go ahead. And so we now have Canada Day every year since then. That is massive. Celebration Square was packed this year.
Right.
We had the best fireworks I've ever seen. So that was Ward 6. Going into Ward 5, it needed a lot more work. So one of the things I did there was the youth hub, as I mentioned to you. We just installed almost full-size Avro Aero in Paul Coffey Park, which is Derry Road and Gorway. Massive Avro Aero. It was built there, and we should be proud of it, and it inspires the kids to get into aerospace, because Malton is the third largest aerospace center in Canada. I actually finally got the Gorway Bridge built over the railway tracks, where you had to sit for 15 minutes as the trains went back and forth. I built a fantastic Castles playground for the kids. I did all kinds of things in Malton because it needed it. The youth hub was one of my favorites. So I felt like a mini mayor when I was in Malton, because I was pretty much there reinventing everything because it had been ignored for many years. So it was good practice.
I'm really humbled tonight. Really appreciate your time. We will dive in again in the next few weeks before elections, when the momentum is high, and we're going to get you back. Is
Okay.
anything you want to say tonight to our viewers of Voice of Toronto TV who are watching you? Any special message you have for our South Asian community? Please, the floor is yours.
My special message is we have the best people in the world in Mississauga. They're hardworking. They get along. They don't argue with each other. They don't protest. It's a fabulous city to be mayor of. I love it. I really appreciate it. And it is just a lifetime achievement. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. I really appreciate the time. We will talk again. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye for
Bye.
now. This was Mayor Carolyn Parrish from Mississauga. We had a little conversation, a good conversation. I hope a lot of the questions I've asked, you have answered them. Maybe you may not agree with her, but whatever the scenario would be, you have the option on October 26th. There will be elections happening in your ridings. Your vote is very, very important, and is very, you need to make sure that you vote, you don't miss out. You need to be a Canadian citizen to vote. And during our next sessions, we're going to be talking about some dates also, and more candidates are going to follow. Please, subscribe our channel, Voice of Toronto TV, on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Watch us, give us a call during the programs. If you'd like to advertise on Voice of Toronto Television, you can give me a call off here at 416-786-4881. Till next time, Allah Hafiz. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum.